It's senior night, and we're counting down the top plays of the year so far. Let's start out at number 20. Har-Ber versus Rogers, and Fuller Chandler connects with Tyler Blackston.
Completed, I think that's Blackston up the middle for a completion, and that's a touchdown for the Har-Ber Wildcats.
Number 19, Har-Ber taking on the Mounties, and Alejandro Ramirez says, "I've had enough of this game. I'm going to Vegas."
Looking to the right, he's got a ton of pressure, and he's going to be dropped for, that's a red-eye flight to Vegas there.
Number 18, how could we forget one of our senior leaders, Luke Cannon, but he isn't doing the usual 6-yard express. Instead, Fuller Chandler connects with him for this 61-yard touchdown run. Number 17, David Val makes his debut with this huge sack. It's like being tackled by a Coke machine with legs. Number 16, Luke Cannon is back, and this time bringing a huge play against Fayetteville.
Not for a first down. He's in open field. He's across the 30, he's across the 25, and down at the 22.
Number 15, I have a feeling we'll see a lot more from Trey Smith, but check out this punt.
And he does get the kickoff. It is not a great, and it's got a great pounce, though.
Oh, my goodness.
That was incredible.
Number 14, the deep pass to D. Wong from Fuller Chandler, and number 17 from Conway says, "Dang, dog, you fast."
And it's a touchdown for Har-Ber Wildcats.
At number 13, we have Tyler Blackston striking against Fayetteville first with this huge touchdown play.
Chandler across the middle. Blackston for a touchdown, Har-Ber Wildcats.
Let's take a look at the defense, which has been key for the Wildcats, as Sam Hall rolls away with this sack against the number 1 quarterback in the state.
Sam Hall drops him for a 10-yard loss there.
Number 11. Let's take a little look at the tip drill from Tyler Blackston to put the Wildcats on the board against Rockhurst. Breaking into the top 10 now, and the 6-yard express is back, but this time dealing out punishment. If only he had a horse.
Gonna have enough for a first down. He's keeping now, he's on his horse, down to the 23-yard line.
Number 9. Austin Henderson making a big play against Southside, as this interception lets him do a little song with that dance.
Henderson goes to the right-hand side. He's got a little bit of room. He jukes and jobs. He's still on his feet.
Number 8. I told you we'd be back. Trey Smith with another incredible punt, but this time Blaze Brothers with the assist. Number 7. Fuller Chandler is back yet again, but this time connecting with Trey Smith, the number 1 receiver for the Wildcats.
He's caught it. It's gonna be down to the 1. Trey Smith is pushing.
At number 6, who could forget this play against Bentonville as the kickoff gets a little, let's say, out of hand. But don't worry, Brady Patrick is there to help out.
The ball's on the ground. Har-Ber picks it up.
Oh, my goodness.
Cracking into the top 5 now with D. Wong as he takes this deep pass, no-look catch.
Dara, he's got it completed. Across the 5, down at the 4.
Adrian, we did
down
it!
at the 5-yard line.
Number 4, Fuller Chandler, feeling the heat in the kitchen, decides to scramble some eggs. He would walk 5,000 miles, but instead runs the length of the field and decides to pass the bacon to D. Wong.
He throws it to Dara, who's got enough for a first down. Beautiful, unbelievable scramble.
Top 3 plays, and it's getting to be a close call, but who could forget that last-second pass to Trey Smith to put them over Fayetteville?
Wide open Trey Smith, touchdown, Har-Ber Wildcats!
What a great play call by Coach Willard and Har-Ber.
6 seconds left to go in the ball game, and the Har-Ber Wildcats go up on the Fayetteville Bulldogs.
We are now to the top 2 plays of the year, and this one goes to Fuller Chandler connecting with Luke Hannon as he manhandles this pass away from Fayetteville.
It's going to be caught for a touchdown. He literally pulls it out of the Fayetteville's hands.
Luke Hannon just pulled that ball out of the defender's hands. That's an unbelievable play.
As the clock goes out.
And finally, number 1, our favorite play of the year is the blocked field goal attempt against Bentonville. And Peyton Kofer grabs his saddle and looks for his horse.
He's returning it.
He's gone. He's off to the races. Har-Ber's grabbing.
He's going to take it.
He's going downfield, baby. He's all the way downfield. Here he goes on his horse, grabbing gears.
Peyton Kofer, gone.
To all the way down, 99 yards, no laundry on the field. Touchdown, Wildcats.
It's senior night, and we're counting down the top plays of the year so far. Let's start out at number.
Welcome, Wildcat Nation. On behalf of the Superintendent, Dr. Jim Rollins, and Athletic Director Wayne Stellick, welcome to tonight's broadcast from Rogers, Arkansas at David Gates Stadium. We're the number one team in the state of Arkansas. Our 8-1 Har-Ber Wildcats play the 0-9 Heritage War Eagles. My name is Donald Tucker, your voice of the Wildcats.
And my name is Blake Tucker. We're here on a very cool night in Rogers, Arkansas, where Har-Ber is looking to win their first outright 7A West conference title. They've they've at least had a share of the conference title several times throughout their school history, but tonight, closing out this last game of the regular season before the playoffs start next week, they have a chance to make school history and go down as one of the best schools or the best teams in school history. So there's a lot of excitement around these guys, and also looking to finish the season on a strong note and go undefeated in conference play. It's just a real testament to the way that this team's turned things around since last year and bounced back from adversity, and how well these leaders on these old seniors have led the young members of the defense and the young members of the offense. It really shows what can really change in an offseason. So very exciting matchup tonight. You have conference leading rusher Luke Hannon by a wide margin. Fuller Chandler's looking to get back on the horse and keep throwing touchdown passes like he's done all season. He's provided an excellent passing game for Har-Ber. This is really a tune-up game for Har-Ber. You said, in your opening that Heritage really hasn't won a game all year. They statistically won their first game, but were disqualified or forfeited it due to use of an ineligible player. But since then, they haven't been able to put much together. I believe they haven't scored a touchdown in 13 quarters. They put a couple field goals up. Their offense just hasn't been able to materialize things, and the defense statistically is close to the bottom of the 7A West. So the big key for Har-Ber here is not to obviously give up the easy game, but to continue with the efficiency and the momentum that they started to accumulate over the course of the year and not get anybody hurt before the playoffs. They're going to get a week off next week, guaranteed first seed, regardless of what happens tonight. Really the only thing on the line here for Har-Ber, like we already said, is the outright conference title.
So tonight here in Rogers, the Heritage War Eagles, coached by Perry Escalante, overall, as we mentioned, is their 0-9 conference. They're 0-6. Nationally ranked, they're 5,740th. And in the state of Arkansas, they're ranked 75th. Now, comparison to Har-Ber, and this is per Max Preps, Har-Ber is nationally ranked in 109th in the country. According to this, they're third in the state of Arkansas, but from every other state or poll in the state, they're number one. So it's not a fist fight challenge for Har-Ber, but the challenge is stay healthy by the end of the game, fine-tune the finer points, like you mentioned, Blake, and just take care of business quick.
Yeah, and you'll hear the coaches preach on this throughout the season, especially when your team is doing really well, is to not give up the easy games, to not play teams that are statistically worse than you like they are worse than you. You have to get up for every single game in the 7A West. You have to come out and play like you were trying to beat a superior team. That's going to be very key for these guys, especially maintaining those core fundamentals. Fuller Chandler getting in good passes, Luke Hannon holding onto the football, defense wrapping up, making tackles. You have to practice that every single week. And just because they're playing an inferior team this week doesn't mean that they are allowed to take a week off, because then they're going to get lazy, and it makes it that much harder to bounce back against statistically very good teams in the playoffs.
So it looks like Har-Ber will be kicking off to start the game here in Rogers, Arkansas. It's a beautiful 60 degrees. It's fall football weather here in Northwest Arkansas. And the War Eagles will be receiving. So Zamumba basically will be handling the kicking duties as normal, and throughout the season has been doing an absolutely fantastic job. The poor guys on the kick team don't get it, like you said last week, are just basically running wind sprints. So the Wildcats will be kicking off. The kick is low, and it is going to be fielded at the 5. Brought across the 20, across the 22, the 25, and he's going to be tackled at the 25-yard line. So the War Eagles will have the ball 1st and 10 from, it looks like they're going to mark it about the 20, it is the 25. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line.
Just a correction there. I believe that was Brady Duggar kicking off. A little bit of change of pace for Har-Ber here on the kickoff team. Not sure the reasoning behind it, but can almost be assured this coaching staff has a good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Duggar doing a fantastic job. So the Wildcats come to defense for the first time tonight. Heritage comes to the line of scrimmage. Qualls at the back, quarterback under center. He's going to roll to the bottom of your screen. He's going to throw quick, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds about the 30-yard line. So he's going to get about 5 yards on the play. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 5 for the War Eagles.
This is Colin Christian there on the receptions, the leading receiver for Heritage. 463 yards on the season, 9 touchdowns.
So 2nd down and 5 for the War Eagles. Qualls under center. Motion at the top of your screen. It's going to be handoff up the middle, and he's going to be met by the Har-Ber linebackers. It's Nasalai and Robertson.
Kind of interesting here. Har-Ber's kind of going into a 5-down defense here, trying to stack the line and mitigate some of this run. They feel very confident with the way their cornerbacks have been playing all season. Extremely confident in the backfield, Austin Henderson, Peyton Kofer, and they're trying to stack some guys in the box and trusting some one-on-one coverages on the outside.
So it is 3rd down and about 2 yards. Ball's on the 34-yard line for the War Eagles. Qualls under center. He's going to hand it off, and he's got a little bit of room. He's got enough for a 1st down. He's going to tack on about 10 yards on top of that. That's number 35, Sanchez, on the carry.
It was a great little misdirection play from Qualls there. Kind of handed it back to the back coming back across the formation. You pulled the guards one way and let the back come back across the defense. Linebackers are going to flow with the guards, and then you got to rely on Blaze Brothers up on an island playing corner to shut a block and make a big play there, potentially save a touchdown.
So that's 1st and 10 for the War Eagles. There's 10:45 on the clock here in the first quarter. Qualls under center. 2 split to the top of your screen. He's going to drop back for a pass play. Throws across the middle. It is received by Colin Christian. And he's going to be close to a 1st down. Looks like they're going to signal the flag. So these guys are going for a first. They get 1st and 10 now from the 46.
And Heritage has been moving the ball fairly well this year. They're not they're statistically one of the worst offenses in the 7A West, but they haven't been able to convert. Their big points in the past 2 games really has come off of field goals. And so the ability of Har-Ber, like Har-Ber's done well all year, to stay up and get ahead early in this game is to just keep them from scoring when they get close to the goal line.
Qualls under center. He's going to hand it off up the middle. That's number 34, Garrett, for the War Eagles, and he's going to get about 4 yards on the carry. Nasalai on the tackle there.
Har-Ber's defense, the 2nd-rated statistics defense in the 7A West, only giving up 258 yards a game. Only second to Bentonville's defense is just barely in front of them with 244 yards a game.
So 2nd down and 6 for the War Eagles. Ball's on the 41-yard line. There's 9 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the first quarter. Qualls under center. Fakes the handoff. He's going to drop back for a pass. He's got a lot of pressure. Sam Hall there on the tackle. And they're going to drop him back for a loss of about 6 yards. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 11 for the War Eagles.
Yeah, Sam Hall making himself felt there. These ends, David Ballard, Sam Hall, they are, I guess what you call stereotypical Har-Ber defensive ends. They haven't always been the biggest guys, but when you look back at some of the best ends that have played at Har-Ber, and you're talking about guys like Seth Gates and typically speed guys.
Right.
And so when they're coming off the edge, they're very hard for a quarterback to kind of step their way out of, and that's exactly what you saw there with Sam Hall.
So Qualls drops back, slings one deep and out of bounds. So that is going to be incomplete. So that is going to bring up 4th down and the punting team for the War Eagles.
David Val getting in there to create some pressure. Ends are going to be very big on upsetting Qual's rhythm in this game, and you've already seen on 2 back-to-back plays how effective they can be in the pass game. Don't have to stay in coverage for very long when you're getting that kind of pressure.
So the War Eagles back to punt. It's like Trey Smith back for the Wildcats. And the kick is going to be short. It's going to be about a 15-yard punt. So the Wildcats will get the ball 1st and 10, and it looks like from about the 36-yard line.
So I've corrected that statistic for you. Heritage's offense has not scored a touchdown in 18 quarters of play, only amassing a few field goals during that period. And Har-Ber's defense has not allowed points in 2 games. He gave up 7 points to Northside, but that was on an offensive interception, pick 6.
So Chandler back, throws to the right. Dundar is completed, and he's going to be tackled out of bounds about the 48-yard line. So that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
And that's what I really like to see out of this offense coming into this game, is getting people involved. Dundar is statistically the number 3 receiver on this offense, but he has number 1 receiver talent. And that's what makes me so excited going into these playoffs is we have unrecognized potential on this offense still that hasn't been utilized.
Chandler going to keep it around the right-hand side. He's got enough for a 1st down. He's going to be tackled about the 32-yard line, out of bounds. So he's going to scramble for about 20 yards there on the play.
Heritage's defense giving up 357 points a game, 357 yards a game through 9 weeks here. Har-Ber's offense, once they hit their rhythm, are going to be very difficult to stop.
8 minutes, 16 seconds to go. It's 1st and 10. The ball's on the 32. Chandler back at shotgun. Fakes the handoff, drops back, looks left, throws. Trey Smith's complete for a 1st down, and he's doing his typical Trey Smith. He's going to get about 4 more yards on top of that.
Kind of interesting there. The Heritage corner gave him plenty of cushion
after he caught it.
Really respecting Trey Smith's speed there. They've watched enough film to know that they need to give him a cushion if they don't want an out and up to go deep on him. So he had about 7 yards to catch that football there on that play.
Chandler back. He's got some pressure. He's going to throw. It is going to be incomplete to Kunkel. So that's going to bring up 2nd down for the Wildcats. I believe that's the first time we've gotten to 2nd down so far.
It is. They've been rolling fairly well, but can't all be rainbows and sunshine.
Another Skittles reference for you here at War Eagle Stadium. It's 7 minutes, 56 seconds to go here in the 1st quarter. I have to get Skittles on the phone, see if they can sponsor this thing. Chandler back at shotgun. Hands it off to Hannon. Hannon up the middle. Going to pound out the typical Luke Hannon, about 7 yards. He might get 8 yards, depending on the spot.
Speaking of Luke Hannon, unless 2nd place in the conference can somehow conjure up 700 yards this season, he's going to finish the regular season as the conference leading rusher.
And I would assume that Luke Hannon doesn't even make the bus here.
Which he clearly did because he just ran on that play.
3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats. Chandler throws. It's touchdown Wildcats. Trey Smith on the completion.
On the reception. And just that easy. Har-Ber's about to go up by 7 points pending this PAT. But going back to the actual stats, what I was talking about, Luke Hannon, he's rushed for 1,420 yards on the season through 9 games, averaging 157 yards a game. He's got 13 touchdowns, 6.7 yards a carry. I mean, just really the complete back, and we've talked about him all year as being one of the best backs, and the statistics just go to show you when he's at 1,400 yards, in 2nd place in rushing is Jacob Clark for Bentonville with 733 yards, almost doubled the total rushing yards of 2nd place.
That is a significant amount of yards.
Yep, and as we've talked about before, the career rushing leader now at Har-Ber, and this game for him is just adding on to the record book. Any yard he rushes for after that Southside game is now just extra record that's going to be that much harder to break for the next guy.
So with 7 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in the first quarter, the Wildcats strike first, 7-0 over the Heritage War Eagles.
Heritage is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs regardless of what happens tonight. So, there's a lot of emotion from these seniors who could possibly be playing their last football game ever tonight.
So Duggar back with kicking responsibilities for the Wildcats. It's a low line drive. It's going to be fielded about the 10-yard line. And we got a flag on the play. Looks like blocking in the back.
Usually what you get when you have flags thrown in the vicinity of the runner like that on a return, it'll either be a holding call or a block in the back, which will erase a fairly decent return there for Heritage.
Yeah, ball came out to the 30, but we expect that to be, and it's blocking in the back, so we're going to drop it back. And that's from the spot of the foul, so that's going to be a little bit farther back than expected.
It's going to put him back right at the 10-yard line.
So the War Eagles will have the ball first and 10 from the 10. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Har-Ber's defenses look very sharp so far, not missing a lot of tackles, playing assignment football. Excellent job out of them thus far.
So Qualls throws deep. He's got a man in the vicinity, but he is not going to be able to complete that. Austin Henderson doing a fantastic job on coverage.
Austin Henderson all over him like a blanket. It's not often you get to see him playing coverage like that, but when he does, he is exceptional at it. 3-year starter at Har-Ber in his senior season now, and really one of the core leaders on this very young Har-Ber secondary. Done a very good job of motivating these guys and leading not only by speech but by example as well.
So with 7 minutes and 2 seconds to go here in the first quarter, the War Eagles will have the ball 2nd and 10 from the 10. Qualls under center. Man in motion at the bottom of your screen. They're going to pitch it to him. And he's going to get around the end, but he is going to get hammered by Austin Henderson.
Austin Henderson showing he can make plays all over the field. He'll go 30 yards downfield in coverage one play. Came up and make a play on a sweep the very next one.
It's a lot of real estate to cover.
And he's one of those speed guys, though. I mean, he has great technique, which is usually what you use to make up for speed, but he has both the speed and the technique here. He's one of those guys that can truly make plays anywhere on the field.
6 minutes, 29 seconds in the first quarter. The clock continues to run. It's 3rd down and 4 for the War Eagles. Ball is on the 16-yard line. Qualls under center. Going to hand it on up the middle, and he is going to be tackled about the 21-yard line.
Well, his brothers comes in there to cut him down, and then Noah Hayward finishes up over the top. Wasn't enough to drop him, though, for the to hold him before the sticks.
That's going to bring up 1st down for the War Eagles. 1st and 10 from the 21. Clock continues to run. There's 6 minutes on the clock. Qualls under center. He's going to hand it off around the left-hand side. A lot of penetration there at the line of scrimmage. Looks like Robertson and
Peyton
Kofer on the tackle.
Good flow from the inside guys, making sure there was no cutback lanes. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the game. That's what you have to have out of not only your defense but your offense. You have to have everybody committed to the game. They can't get in their head that this is an easy game. They're going to come out of this unscathed. They have to play it like any other regular conference game, and that's exactly what they're doing. You're getting effort from all over the field from all 11 starters on both sides.
So that's 2nd down and 9 for the War Eagles. Ball is on the 22-yard line. Qualls under center. He's going to roll to the right. throw to the right, and the poor guy that completed that just got laid out.
Well, his brother's lost his helmet. Somebody's coming in now. He will have to come out for a play per AAA regulations. Regardless of injury, if you lose your helmet, you do have to come out for at least one play.
So that's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for the War Eagles. Ball's on the 25-yard line. Qualls under center. Pro set offense. Drops back. Looks to the right. He's got a couple men downfield, but he's going to be dropped for a huge loss. And I think everybody from the Har-Ber defense, but 2 or 3, were in on the tackle.
There was definitely 4 guys in there. I think you had your typical linemen in there, Ramirez, Val, Hall, and I think Chase Anderson got in there as well. Just a little breakdown in communication on the offensive line there. They ended up letting all 4 guys go.
So the fake screen by Heritage. 4th down and 11. The ball's on the 19. There's 4 minutes, 8 seconds on the clock. It continues to run. While the War Eagles back to punt. And the kick is off. It's end over end. And it is going to take a War Eagle bounce, cross across midfield, and be down about the 48-yard line. So the Wildcats will have the ball. 1st and 10 from the 40, let's call it the 49.
I don't know if they could see it on the camera feed there, but these kicks are dangerously close to being blocked. As a defense, it's almost harder when you're that close to getting a kick block because you have to pull up if you don't touch the football or risk giving them a first down for roughing the punter here. But excellent job thus far on the first 2 ones for pulling up when they realized that they couldn't get a hand on it. But with the coverage that Heritage is giving right now, or I should say lack of coverage, look for one of these punts to be blocked very soon.
Chandler back at shotgun. Drops back, looks left. He's going to throw to Hannon, and Hannon is going to be tackled for a loss about 5 yards.
Had Trey Smith going down the field there, and you usually see that little flare route from the halfback as kind of a safety valve. I don't know if that play had time to develop. Almost looked like a designed throw play to Hannon, but Heritage's defense stepped up and made a very nice play for a loss on a very good running back.
2nd down and 15 for the Wildcats. Trey Smith to the top of your screen. Chandler back at shotgun. He's got a little bit of pressure there, and he's going to be tackled for another loss.
Heritage's defense 2 plays back-to-back. Exceptional coverage downfield. Caused Fuller Chandler to break the pocket, and they had pressure there to bring him down. Heritage's defense kind of coming to life a little bit.
Yeah, they really are. 2 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. It's 3rd down, 19. The ball's on the 39-yard line.
Might have been watching Har-Ber football for a little bit too long if I'm not worried when they get in 3rd down situations like this, especially watching this offense, because you know they can put touchdowns up from anywhere on the field.
Chandler back at shotgun. We have Dundar to the bottom of your screen and Trey Smith to the top. Hannon up the middle. He's back. He's on open field across. Got a 1st down +5. That's Luke Hannon, ladies and gentlemen.
Or you can hand it to Luke Hannon on a run play up the middle and let him truck for 20 yards, and we still don't worry about it.
I felt the exact same way when you were 19 yards, and I'm thinking, well, I'm not even worried about it. And then the next play, it's a 1st down and 10.
It's how many yards? Yeah, let's give it to the conference leading rusher.
2 minutes, 15 on the clock. Chandler back at shotgun. It's 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. He drops back, looks, throws left. Trey Smith. Hook and ladder. Luke Hannon for a touchdown, Wildcats.
Bringing out the trickeration there. Just making it look easy. And you know they practiced that play, and all the guys are really excited to use it. Coach Wood decided, why not now? Let's break it out and let these guys have a little bit of fun. They made it look like it's a core play in their playbook.
Did you see the War Eagle defender? He was just standing there. He watched. He had a great seat. He was just watching the play.
The cornerback got whiplash from how hard he turned around to find out where the ball went.
Well, you got to watch him run. He's a great runner. Wildcats extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So that's going to give the Wildcats 14 in the first quarter here. We're still 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the first quarter.
And that Wildcat touchdown was brought to you by Catering Unlimited and Tire Tracks. Big thank you to them for sponsoring the broadcast equipment to make this possible.
And for bringing that touchdown. I see here Dr. Brackett made it to Louisville safely, so it's nice to see that he's watching and making sure that we do our job. Dr. Brackett, have a safe trip.
Remind you, sign up to win a $100 Harps gift card tonight. It's free to enter, and the drawing will be during halftime of tonight's game. And again, at all future home varsity football and basketball games, fans can register at the table located by the concession stand. Tonight's
So Duggar back in to do the kicking responsibilities for the Wildcats. And the kickoff team is getting a little bit of work here on the coverage tonight.
Yeah, they've been getting work all season long with the amount of points Har-Ber's been averaging. You can expect these guys to be well conditioned at this point in the season.
Little squib kick is going to be picked up about the 15-yard line. And he's going to be tackled about the 20.
1, 2, 3 Har-Ber defenders take him down. Great coverage by the kickoff team.
So it's 1st and 10 for the War Eagles. There's a minute 57 on the clock in the first quarter, and they're going to have the ball on the 20.
It's worth mentioning that Har-Ber coming into this game tonight is a 35-point favorite by Hootens, and the Democrat Gazette picked them 42-3 over Heritage.
What did the voice of the Wildcats predict?
I do not remember.
I think it was 56-7. Qualls rolls to the right, throws, and it is incomplete.
Blaze Brothers coming in there, I think. I believe that was Noah Hayward in there, getting a hand over the top of that receiver, putting it right on the football. Textbook coverage out of Noah Hayward.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. The ball's on the 20 with a minute 51 on the clock. Heritage looking for some rhythm here. Qualls drops back. He's got a little bit of pressure. Throws deep. And it is going to be broken up.
Brighton Cook all over the Heritage receiver there, putting himself between the receiver and the ball, trying to give himself a chance to go out for it. And for the uninformed observer there, it almost looked like Brighton Cook was a receiver.
Right. Well, the receiver turned and looked at the coach and just kind of shrugged his shoulders, like, you know what, there's nothing I can do. And he's not the only one. This whole conference has been that way. This defense has been on point the whole season.
If I had to pick one word to describe how well the defense has played this year, or one word to describe this defense, it would be smothering.
That's true. Qualls pitch to the right, around the right-hand side, and they're going to run it to the sideline.
Pursued out of inside guys there. You saw Ramirez break into the backfield, and unlike most nose guards, continued to run with the play and was there on the sideline when the running back ran out of bounds. That's the kind of hustle that you like to see.
So that's going to bring a 4th down and 5. 1 minute 37 on the clock.
Wildcats #1, Trey Smith, Pavlik in punt formation.
And the kick is short. And it hits off the top of one of the War Eagles' heads. Typical soccer style.
I'd like to think that was intentional. That was incredible aim by Heritage's punter there. Might want to turn that one into a trick play in the future.
So the Wildcats will have the ball 1st and 10. It'll be on the 46-yard line. And there's a minute 32 to go in the first quarter. Do the Wildcats score in that minute in 32 seconds?
They sure have the ability to. I think it's a matter of whether or not they want to try to stretch the game.
So Chandler's going to keep it up the middle. He's going to get about a yard on it.
You really enjoy this calm pace out of both Har-Ber's offense and defense here. They look very relaxed, very comfortable with their roles, and are executing to perfection thus far.
2nd down and 9 for the Wildcats. Chandler back at shotgun. Hands off to Hannon around the left-hand side. Luke Hannon lowers his shoulders, and he's going to get about 2 yards on the play.
Tackle on the play made by Garrett Schultz.
Heritage on the season giving up almost 200 rush yards a game.
Third down, 37.
Statistically, not a great defense period, but they struggle a little bit with the run, I would say, more than they do with the pass, and that's not good when you have a back like Luke Hannon standing across from you.
Chandler throws deep. Trey Smith open, completed, and touchdown. Trey Smith and the Har-Ber Wildcats. And that was exactly 60 seconds from when I asked that question.
This cornerback's been struggling a lot, and I guarantee you the coaches upstairs have seen the cushion he's been giving. A few plays ago, he took a play to try to jump that short route, and one of those coaches called that out, basically telling Coach Wood that they're trying to jump those short routes now, so send Trey Smith deep, and he burned him by a good 10 yards by the time that ball was thrown. Still had time to wait on it come down.
It is a hard combination because they will beat you up short and they will beat you downfield. So lines up for the extra point. The kick is up. The kick is good. So that is going to give the Wildcats 21 here. We still got 26 seconds to go in the first quarter.
So to answer your question, yes, they will score in 1 minute and 30 seconds. They'll actually score in just a little over a minute.
Yep.
And you knew coming into this game that had the potential to be a blowout, and Har-Ber's exemplifying that very early in this game. The question is, how many points do you get up before you pull your starters to save them for the second round of the playoffs?
They have 2 weeks.
They do. They
So-
will not play in another football game after tonight for 14 days.
Yep.
David Zamora. Kicking off for the Wildcats, number 11, Brady Duncan.
Something to be said about the rest that you get, taking that week off and playing a team that is only on a week recovery from their previous game definitely gives you the advantage.
So Duggar kicks. It's a great kick down to the 1, and they're gonna bring it out. He's gonna be tackled. It's gonna be hit hard about the 14, it's like about the 17-yard line.
He's gang tackled by 7 Har-Ber defenders there. Everybody wanting to get in on a piece of the action.
38, Bryce Yates for the Wildcats.
So the War Eagles will have the ball 1st and 10 from the 19. There's 19 seconds on the clock, and they are trailing the Wildcats 21-0.
It's very likely here we're going to end this first quarter here. The score, Har-Ber 21, Heritage nothing. Stretch it to another quarter. Heritage has not scored a touchdown and make that 19 straight.
Qualls can pitch it around the left-hand side at the bottom of your screen, and Har-Ber's going to stretch it out to the sideline. He is not going to get anything. He might have lost a yard there.
Brighton Cook maintain there, and Chase Anderson coming in to finish up the play.
Second down and 10, and that is going to do it here for us in the first quarter. Wildcats 21, the War Eagles 0.
And you do really, as an ex-football player, you can kind of relate to seeing, seniors that are for sure playing in their last game. I mean, there's a certain amount of emotion attached to that for these Heritage guys. A lot of these seniors on this team have been working very hard for 3 years to, put something together, whether it was to make friends or to exercise, to get physical exercise. These guys have been a part of something special when they joined a football team, and it's always tough to see guys when they know they're playing in their last football game.
Scott and Amy McCrary, Trisha Kitterman, Corey and Mary Christian, Steve Evans, and Cindy and Brian Reedy. Those names I just read, you are our Booster Club drawing winners for tonight.
Second down and 10 for the War Eagles. The ball is on the 19-yard line, and we've got a fresh 12 minutes on the clock here for the second quarter. Qualls under center. It's like the ball came loose. He might have got back to the line of scrimmage. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 9. A long 9.
DeAndre Mendez, the carry for the War Eagles.
Har-Ber's defense really settling in here and getting back to that lockdown defense that you've seen them play for the past 2 games. It'd be incredible to have a starting defense that pitched 3 straight defensive shutouts in their last 3 games of the season. It's exactly, like I said last week, when you want your defense getting good.
Quall's he's gonna drop back. He's gonna throw deep to the left, but that guy is covered, and that's broken up by Brothers.
Well, his brother's getting in there, trying to put him in himself in a position to make an interception. Ball floated on him just a little bit, but it's been a common theme with the passes thrown down the field. You never feel like a Heritage receiver has a chance to make those plays because the Har-Ber cornerbacks are all over him.
Yeah, it's frustrating for the entire team on offense. You can't get around the ends on the outside on the run. You can't throw downfield, and you're definitely not going to run on over Ramirez or Robertson or Hall.
This defense is a classic example of pick your poison.
Yeah. So the War Eagles drop back to punt. It's 4th down and a long 9. Oh, that was almost blocked by Austin Henderson. And that one was hit the back of a War Eagle. So Wildcats have the ball 1st and 10 from the 44. That's the War Eagle 44. So we're probably a couple plays away from a touchdown.
These guys are right there to make those blocked punts, and the only thing saving them from actually being blocked is how high this punter is kicking it. And I almost feel like, without watching a lot of film, that this punter has learned to kick it high because teams consistently get pressure on him, and that's the only way they don't get blocked.
Right. So 11 minutes, 8 seconds to go on the clock in the second quarter. Wildcats 21-0 over the War Eagles. Chandler back at shotgun. Hannon behind him, hands it off to Hannon up the middle. Hannon lowers his shoulders and does a little bit of work.
Runs right into the mouth of the Heritage defense and still gets about 4 yards.
So that's 2nd down and 6 for the Wildcats.
Har-Ber really taking its time here.
Chandler back at shotgun. Hannon behind him. Nope. He's under the center. I formation. Hands it off to Hannon. Hannon's got enough for a 1st down.
He hits the gap so quick when he gets the football. It doesn't have to be open for long, but offensive line, as we've talked about most of this year, has been one of the key reasons that he's had so much success. Luke Hannon returning the favor by making sure they don't have to hold it open very long. He squeezes through it. He's into the 2nd level. That's why he's averaging almost 7 yards a carry.
10:05 on the clock. 1st down and 10 for the Wildcats. The ball is on the 34-yard line. Trey Smith to the bottom of your screen. I formation. Chandler fakes. Throws to Blackston, and that is going to be incomplete.
Well, slightly underthrown there, a little uncharacteristic of Chandler. Blackston did a great job of coming back to it and making sure it wasn't intercepted.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats.
9:41 left in the half.
Trey Smith down here at the bottom of your screen. Chandler pitches it to Hannon around the right-hand side. He's got a little bit of wiggle room, and he's going to get about 6 yards on the play.
Another 6 yards.
For the Har-Ber Express.
Yeah, Har-Ber's offense doing what they do best. Letting the offensive line go big on big block and letting Luke Hannon basically pick his hole.
Or make one.
And he's very good at that as well.
3rd down and a long 4 here at 9:13 in the second quarter.
Har-Ber's offense, as you may have guessed, does lead the league in rushing.
Hannon up the middle. 1st down, Luke Hannon. Har-Ber basically said, if you're going to load the box, we're going to run it right down your throat. And that's exactly what Har-Ber does.
Heritage here is trying to play numbers. They're trying to guess run or pass, but unfortunately for them, it doesn't matter. You can stack 7, 8, 9 guys in the box, and Har-Ber's still going to get 6 yards a carry. That's just how good this offensive line is and how elusive and powerful Luke Hannon is.
So they have one-on-one coverage down here to Trey Smith. Blackston comes in motion, fakes it, looks to across the middle. Blackston touchdown, Har-Ber Wildcats.
Blackston with the bobble, but on the 3rd attempt, you can be sure he's going to reel it in. There was no Heritage defenders near him. Classic 7-on-7 there, a little shoulder shake, and he's going to come wide open in the back of the end zone. Great play from both Fuller Chandler and Blackston.
So Trey Smith for the hold.
The Zumbo in now for PAT. Hasn't been doing kickoffs.
Giving him a break. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So that is going to give the Wildcats 28 with 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go here.
Something interesting that we're encouraging on here is if Har-Ber can hold Heritage on this next drive and score a touchdown, will give them that 35-point Mercy Rule lead, and would be the first time this season, I believe, that Har-Ber has Mercy Ruled the team in the first half.
That's true.
I believe Har-Ber has 3 or 4 Mercy Rule games this year, but all of those coming in the second half later on. They're looking here to finish the season, the regular season, on a high note and put together a complete game.
They've told us that they could have a fleet of volunteers there to help this year.
I see them at a lot of our Hispanic community events.
Duggar back deep to kick off again.
That has such a big community.
So the kick is up. It is going to be fielded at about the 5-yard line. And it's going to be brought almost to the 30, so they're going to be tackled about the 27-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the War Eagles.
One thing I want to call out there on these kickoff coverages that Har-Ber's had, and they've had a few of them this game just because of how much their offense has been scoring. But Peyton Kofer, the starting safety, starts on defense, also on the kick coverage team, is one of the first guys down the field every time on kick coverage. He's overrunning the play a little bit at the end, but the effort he is giving on special teams is A+.
Qualls back at shotgun for the War Eagles. He's going to hand it off around the right-hand side. And Nasalai is going to be there along with, looks like, Kofer.
Brighton Cook was in there as well.
Tackle made by number 9, Brighton Cook for the Wildcats.
That's going to be good for about a yard, so that's going to be 2nd down and 9 for the War Eagles.
This defense has looked stellar all season. And this game is almost a trophy in itself, being able to perform at the level that they have been all season. It's good to see them put together a game like this.
Qualls under center.
We have a flag on the play.
Like we have a legal procedure against the War Eagles, so that's going to back them up.
Here coming up at halftime in 7 minutes and 49 seconds on the game clock. We'll have a little bit of a playoff preview for you, talk about some of the important games going on this week, and hopefully get some score updates to you. Very big week going on all around the 7A in Arkansas. Some very big playoff implications, especially for some 7A West teams.
I know our counterparts there at Bulldog Stadium's got a little bit of a battle on their hands. Qualls drops back, throws across the middle, and it is going to be incomplete.
The 2 players on the field that had the best chance at catching that football were Brighton Cook and Austin Henderson. Never good for an offense when the 2 most likely people to catch a football are defenders.
Right. 7 minutes, 23 seconds to go here in the first half.
Bring up a long 3rd down here for a struggling Heritage offense. 7:23 left in the half.
So the Qualls under center. Going to hand it off around the left-hand side, but as usual, Penetration from the defensive ends there. Hall on the tackle.
It's going to bring up a 4th and very long for this offense. I'm going to call it on this one with the pressure they've been getting, and now that they've pinned them so deep, you can almost guarantee a punt.
Block.
You can see some of these guys off the edges pin their ears back and lay out for the football here. You know they've been itching to get one of those blocks all season, every day in practice. I almost guarantee when somebody's going to get one this game.
All right. Here we go. He's back for punt. And looks like we got a flag on the play. Offsides. That's going to back him up even more. Oh, it's against the Wildcats.
Not going to help him much here. It's still going to put him short of the first stick.
So it's 4th down and 12 for the War Eagles, and we are still punting.
This doesn't change anything here. You're still bringing pressure. Those 5 yards did not make a difference in Heritage's game plan.
And we might just see a punt here, ladies and gentlemen. Or excuse me, a punt block. Oh, it's just
Austin
inches
Henderson
away.
is so close. I'm not sure he's not getting a little bit of a chip on those with how high they're going, how short some of these punts are. You almost feel like some of these are deflected. I mean, they are literally inches away from grabbing one of these. I'm on the edge of my seat every time Heritage lines up for a punt.
6 minutes, 9 seconds to go here in the first half. Wildcats 28, the War Eagles 0.
If Austin Henderson gets any closer to the punter, he is in Heritage's punt team is in definite danger of a Har-Ber defender returning the kick from 6 inches off the punter's foot.
That's true. 1st and 10, the ball is on the 47-yard line. We got twin split to the bottom of your screen. Twin split to the top. Chandler back at shotgun. He's going to drop back, look left, throws to the right, and it is incomplete to Dungdara.
Almost like a double screen there. Offensive line kind of released a few of those defensive linemen. Fuller Chandler had 2 options to throw to there.
Second down, 10.
So 2nd down and 10, 6:04 on the clock.
Now with the lead that kind of Har-Ber's amassed here, especially if they score again, we might see some of these starters start to roll out as soon as the start of the 3rd quarter.
Chandler back at shotgun. Throws to the right. It is complete for a 1st down to Dungdara.
Pass complete to number 3, Dalton Dewandara.
Dewandara will take it past the sticks. Like I said earlier, it's really, really exciting to see him start getting involved. He's an excellent receiver. It's been a little quiet this year. He hasn't put up the same numbers that Blackston and Trey Smith have. But getting him involved is a very positive sign, and it shows how much potential there is on this offense that we haven't seen yet.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball's on a 41. Throws it to the left-hand side. He's going to be complete, and it's going to be close to the 1st down.
Chipping away at about 10 yards of pass rate here. Fuller Chandler throwing at a very high completion percentage this game.
Brady Patrick on the completion.
Brady Patrick is one of those guys that have been trying to get involved all year. They've been rolling him in a lot. He's been providing relief. One of those guys that's good in a lot of different positions on the field. You'll see him start to roll in a little bit more probably as the year comes on.
Chandler back at shotgun. He's going to roll to the right, throws to Hannon. He's across the 1st down, and he's going to be tackled out of bounds kind of late. But he's going to get 5 yards on top of that. So it's going to be 1st and 10. The ball's going to be on the 26-yard line.
Move the sticks again. Har-Ber's offense is moving at a rate of about a 1st down a play.
27-yard line.
1st and 10, 5:19 on the clock. Chandler rolls to the right. There's a flag on the play. He's got enough for a 1st down, and he's going to be tackled inbounds.
Pending the flag, it's another 1st down with 1 play. It's thrown at an offensive lineman. We might get a holding or a tripping call here. Holding.
Holding against the Wildcats.
That'll back him up a little bit. It'll be from the spot of the foul. Won't be a full 10 yards from the 1st down marker.
And sometimes you have to back up to get a running start, so that is just a little bit of a wrinkle for the Wildcat offense.
You say that as a joke, but it seems like every time you say that, Har-Ber does get a running start at it, and it's pulling a 20-yard play out of their hat.
Exactly why I say it.
Superstition can be positive.
Chandler back at shotgun, spread formation. Ooh, Blackston on the completion right down to the first down sticks. He might be a few inches short.
Took a hit in the back there. Goes to show you how durable these receivers are.
Gain of 18 on the play.
So it's going to bring up second down and a long yard. 4:30 on the clock. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, the Wildcats are about to get a first down, if not a touchdown.
20 yards out is a very short distance for this offense to
Just
go.
one play away. Handon Express has the ball, sidesteps 2, across the 5, muscles it down to the 3. And that is Luke Hannon.
There are 4 cleats laying on the field right now from the first 2 defenders that he sidestepped. Finally took 2 defenders to bring him down. I mean, what more can you say about this guy that we haven't already said?
I was juked out of my shoes, and I was just watching. 4:04 on the clock.
The only 2 things that this guy's worried about right now is winning a state championship and picking out a shirt to wear to the Kern banquet dinner.
All day long. Look at this. I mean, he threw flat-footed and just lobbed it into the end zone for a touchdown. There was 0 penetration there. None at all. The offensive line was just standing there watching the defensive guys.
Regardless of how good your coverage is, if a quarterback gets time, receivers will come open. You could have the best defensive backs in the league, but if the quarterback has all day to throw it, receivers are just going to come open. I mean, the receivers have the advantage in that situation.
Fuller Chandler was eating a hot dog when he threw that. Kick is up, and the kick is no good.
The Zumbo on a rare miss there. Might be a little cold from relinquishing his kickoff duties.
They're drinking water on the sideline.
Wildcats 34, Heritage War Eagles 0.
And that will put Har-Ber 1 point shy of the mercy rule. Clock will continue to stop there, and if you're Heritage, you didn't want to see that.
You almost wanted them to make it so they get out of the game as quick as possible, but with 3 minutes and 51 seconds to go here in the first half, the Wildcats 34, the War Eagles 0.
You know, when I played at Har-Ber, we played in a game like this at Siloam Springs where you go up really big in the first half of the game, and the rest of the game it's hard when you're used to playing 4 quarters to calm yourself down after you've been taken out of a football game after 2 quarters.
So Duggar back with the kicking duties. And the kick is up, and it is going to be received about the 10-yard line. And just like that, he is tackled about the 35.
The murmur of excitement was quickly squelched at about the 36-yard line.
So the War Eagles will have the ball first and 10 from the 36. There's 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go here at the first half. Little score update from across the 7A West. Looks like Bentonville trailing Fayetteville 7-12.
Big game there. The winner of that game will likely get to host the loser in the semifinals. Retain that home field advantage if both teams can manage to win out until that point.
Qualls drops back. He's looking downfield. He has a man open, but it is going to be deflected.
Blaze Brothers trying for style points there with a tip drill to Austin Henderson. Just a little short. That one's tough to practice.
That is a tough practice. Second down and 10 for the War Eagles. 3:39 on the clock.
With the way Har-Ber's defense is playing here, you almost feel like Heritage needs to score on a kickoff return if they're going to put any kind of points on the board.
It seems to be the only chance they have so far.
Har-Ber's defense keeping them well out of the. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's
If you have guys jumping into the backfield and hitting the quarterback before he can hand off a draw, there's some issues.
Yeah, maybe we should kick some of the Wildcats out of the Heritage's huddle so they have a little bit more of a chance.
The quarterback was just getting drilled as he was handing off the football.
Right.
It goes to show two things. It shows how quick these defensive linemen and linebackers for Har-Ber are, and it goes to show just the breakdown in communication, even willpower at this point on the Heritage offensive line.
3rd down and 13 and they're going to call a timeout. So this will be the first timeout for the game tonight. So we're going to take the timeout with him. You're watching Wildcat football on the Wildcat Sports Network.
We came to Arvest Bank to see what makes it different.
It's a community bank that really reaches out to the customers to make them feel special. I feel special every time I come in here.
They want to be involved in the community and want to be part of the community.
They support our university, our athletic department.
They've told us that they could have a fleet of volunteers there to help this year if we needed.
I see them at a lot of our Hispanic community events that we do.
I can't think of another bank in the city that has such a big community presence as Arvest.
Arvest Bank, our customers say it best.
Welcome back. Beautiful Rogers, Arkansas, where the Heritage War Eagles are trailing the Har-Ber Wildcats 34-0. War Eagles have the ball. It's 3rd down and 13. The ball is on the 34-yard line. And they are struggling to put something together against this fierce Wildcat defense.
For those of you that are worried about the content for the second half of the show, we'll be discussing a little bit of playoffs, implications, potential matchups coming up during halftime and potentially into the second half.
Deep into the second half.
Cross pass complete to Colin Christian. Tackle made by number 14, Blaze Brothers.
So Brothers making the rare tackle for loss of yardage.
Timeout, Har-Ber.
Quick score update. Bentonville adding a touchdown to take the lead against Fayetteville, 14-12.
That was a little bit of a fist fight down there in Harmon Field in Fayetteville.
An exciting game right there. Two very good 7A West teams fighting for the number 2 spot. The loser, of course, taking the number 3 spot. It'll be very big for playoff implications, depending on who wins that game and who has the best shot at taking state. Between those two teams, anyway. Har-Ber, of course, has a little bit something to say about that. They'll be on the other side of the bracket, hoping to be waiting on whoever decides to show up to meet them in Little Rock.
That's exactly how it'll play out, too. So it's 4th down and a bus ride for the War Eagles. I think technically it's 15, maybe 16, somewhere in that area code.
I'm excited about this play because Austin Henderson, will have another chance to take one off the punter's foot.
So what's the over and under here on the block punt?
Well, he's gotten close. Was it 3 times now? Going on the fourth time's a charm?
We'll see.
I'm going to rewrite that phrase for my own purposes.
Austin Henderson is back here 15 yards deep, so he better start running now.
They're going to give somebody else a shot at this one.
Nope, there's no block.
No pressure. We're going to try to set up a return here.
Trey Smith has the ball. He's going to run around the right-hand side. We've got a bunch of flags on the play. He's going to be tackled about the 25-yard line.
I don't agree with that flag. I know why they threw it, because they thought it was a block in the back, but he was hit squarely in the shoulders. They say don't block him unless you can see the numbers on the front of his jersey. From the angle that he was running, I could guarantee that Har-Ber player could see the numbers on the front of his jersey. Kind of a ticky-tack call there.
Well, you know you don't have a good angle on the play when you throw the flag from 20 yards downfield.
A good indication of whether or not it was a block in the back is where the coverage guy lands. If he lands on his back, then it was a clean block. If he lands on his chest, then it was a block in the back. And landed mostly on his back that time. I don't think you can throw that flag.
Well, point of order, they have. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 40. There's 2 minutes and 33 seconds. More than enough time for another touchdown here with the Wildcats.
Nasalayan now to run the ball.
And that just means that somebody's going to get a headache on the War Eagle defense.
Naslai, as I'm sure many of you know, is a very tough, powerful runner.
Hands it off up the middle. On his feet. He's across the first down. Still going. There's 3. You can count them, ladies and gentlemen. 3 War Eagles tackling Naslai.
And Naslai not as elusive as Luke Hannon, but what he lacks in elusiveness, he makes up for in hard-nosed running. He's a linebacker that decided he can also run the football, and so when he gets the opportunity, he's going to lower his shoulder pads and hit them harder than they've ever thought a running back could.
I'm not sure he's interested in yards. He just wants to hit people.
Yeah, he's in it for the who hits.
Yep. He's got the ball again. He's looking for somebody to hit. He's back to the line of scrimmage. Oh, he coughs up the ball, but Chandler's there to pick it up. So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 11 for the Wildcats. That is a rare offensive fumble. Naslai slowly walking over to the sideline to get some coaching.
Dylan Dara in the backfield playing a little bit of tailback here. It's a little mishmash of who wants to play running back.
They just spin the wheel on the sideline, and whoever's name pops up is who's going to run in the backfield.
Pass complete number 22, Matthew Ezel. Mason Edwards on the stop.
So Matthew Ezel in the reception there.
It's going to bring up 3rd down. 3rd down and about 9 for the Wildcats.
Matthew Ezel, senior wide receiver. A little bit of action here in the last regular season game.
Chandler back at shotgun. They hand it off up the middle. Naslai's got a 1st down. He's going to tack on about 6 on top of that.
Naslai matching Luke Hannon's long run of the night with that one there. Spin the wheel again. Let's see who else can rip off a 17-yard run.
I want to spin the wheel.
It's been a while since you've ripped off any 17-yard runs.
That's true. 1st down, 1st and 10. Naslai has the ball, fighting. I see 6 guys that it takes to take him down.
Naslai showing off his leg press work from the offseason there, just refusing to go down. People literally jumping on his shoulders to take him down.
2nd down and 5 for the Wildcats. There's 21 seconds to go. The clock continues to run. Chandler drops back, throws deep. He's got a guy open, and it is going to be incomplete.
A little bit short there for Brady Patrick. Did come open on the back end, but nice to see Fuller Chandler now overthrowing that ball. You saw one where he underthrew it just a bit. Obviously, you want that one overthrown just a little bit too much that time.
So that's 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats. Chandler back at shotgun. We have Trey Smith at the bottom of your screen, so we can expect probably a little bit of a strike. We only have 11 seconds left to go here in the first half, and the Wildcats are going to take a timeout. We're going to take the timeout with them. You're watching Wildcat Football on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Do you need new tires? Do you want a price match guarantee? Do you want to wait in a newly renovated waiting room? Do you want tire services at any time with no appointment? Then Tire Tracks is the place for you. With our price match guarantee and the largest inventory of new and used tires in the area, we have tires for every budget. Tire Tracks, Northwest Arkansas's largest independent tire dealer.
Welcome back here. Rogers, Arkansas. Beautiful Heritage Football Stadium and Gates Stadium. The Wildcats lead 34-0 over the War Eagles. Wildcats have the ball, 3rd down and 5. The ball's on the 25-yard line, and I believe we're a few plays away from a touchdown.
We have 11 seconds left on the clock. Har-Ber trying to come out of this with a touchdown.
Chandler back, looks, got a little bit of room, got a little bit of time. He's going to scramble. He's still looking. And he's going to throw it out of bounds, but we have a flag on the play.
And it's not going to matter too much as the clock just expired for half. As long as this isn't a defensive touchdown, we're probably going to be headed to the locker room and a quick halftime show.
It is not a defensive touchdown. I know that for a fact.
Defensive penalty. I'm sorry. It's declined.
That's going to take us into halftime, where the Wildcats lead 34-0 over the War Eagles. Blake?
Yep. Coming up here at halftime, we're going to have a little bit of halftime entertainment, and probably going to see performances from Heritage's band, maybe some of their spirit squads, and then coming back towards the end of halftime, we're going to start talking about the 7A West Arkansas State High School playoffs. I'm sorry, 7A Arkansas High School playoffs. Implications, who's in, who's out, and predictions for who's going to meet where and what the games tonight mean for the next few weeks. So stay right here. We'll be back in a little bit. You're watching Wildcat Sports Network.
As the Har-Ber Wildcats finish up their 2015 football season, the true test of commitment and inspiration is just beginning.
The inspiration is being outright champions. That's the first thing. That's never really happened in Har-Ber history. And then also just getting to Little Rock and bringing back a state title. The offseason has helped the team develop a sense of chemistry. I know that last year we didn't have a really big passing game, and so this offseason we've kind of been working on the passing game, and that's really helped us become a diverse offense.
As the Wildcats continue to hit hard in passing and rushing, they remain humble and keep their attention only on the one task at hand.
Overall, we just want to not look ahead, not pay attention to the media, but just keep our focus inside the program and win the week. This team wants to just serve each other, lay it all down on the line for the guy next to us. And it's a very selfless team, and that's going to help us a lot in life. And that's just our motivation.
Being selfless helps any good football team, but the true aspect of the game is doing the little things right.
I think the biggest thing, Coach Wood really harps on focusing on the fundamentals of the game. From down to the steps to the blocking and tackling, all the rest of the stuff will work itself out as long as we get better on our fundamentals each week.
Don't forget to come support your Har-Ber Wildcats at their first playoff game on November 20th. For WCSN, I'm Ashlyn Grace Brothers. The gridiron, a test of strength, endurance, and commitment. 100 yards of broken tackles, clutch opportunities, and third down drives that turn men into champions. Football is America's pride and most watched sport, with over 1/3 of the country tuning in to watch the Saturday Frenzy, the Sunday Night Madness, or the Friday Night Lights. You can be sure to bet that when that victory bell rings, the rest of the city, state, or nation is right there with you. But for one athlete, the biggest challenge is to pick himself up and keep moving forward.
It was my 9th grade year, and I was kicking a field goal against the Rogers Mounties. I kicked it and I made it, but as soon as my foot came down on the ground, a dude dove at it and snapped it. It's broke in 6 places. I took 7 months to recover and actually be cleared to play, and I was on crutches for about the first 3 months. And I owe a lot of it to my friends and my family because they really helped me through all of it and all through my rehab.
7 months of rehab, intense physical training, not to mention the emotion and psychological battle within would break almost anyone. But for Jacob Robertson, quitting was never an option.
I never really thought about it because I love the sport and nothing can really keep me from it. I just wanted to come back stronger. I had to work out a lot, lots of rehab, but it was a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifices, but that's what you need to play here at Har-Ber, lots of sacrifices.
Sacrifice, a key word that Jacob uses to not only be an impact player, but to help his team recognize that you need to play every game as if it were your last.
I think the injury really helped J-Rob in understanding that every play could be your last play. And he does not take for granted playing high school football. He goes out with a passion. He goes out there and plays hard every snap because he realizes that every snap could be his last. You never know what's going to happen. And he plays that way. He has a passion for the game, and he's been given a second chance coming back off this injury because, I think originally when he got injured, I don't think he was ever going to be, they said he probably wouldn't be able to play again. So, he came back from this thing got a second chance to play, do what he loves to do, and you can see that on the field as he plays, because he plays with an intense passion. He goes as hard as he can all the time.
Through all the pain, all the wins, and even the losses, this injury has shaped his life and taught him one very valuable lesson.
Don't be negative about it, you know? It's not going to do anything but make you stronger if you think about it. You just got to have a good mindset towards it. You just got to be positive throughout the process. It's a lot of hard work, but I think you can overcome anything if you put your mind to it and if you really want to.
Life is full of challenges, disappointments, and sometimes upsets. But the one thing you can never lose is the ability to get up and try again. And for Jacob Robinson, his story has just begun. For WCSN, I'm Ashton Grace Brothers.
The Youth Bridge Bully Buster program is this program that we are pushing through the schools to increase awareness of bullying in the schools, not just for those who are bullied, but for the bullies. The Youth Bridge Bully Buster program is symbolized in these orange wristbands, and kids can wear them proudly and say that they're going to stand up to bullies and they're going to seek assistance, they're going to seek help, they're going to talk to parents and their teachers to let them know that either they're being victimized by bullies or their friends are being victimized by bullies. These kids are wanting to go to school to get an education. They want to hang out with their friends and they want to feel safe when they go to school. And when they're having challenges with their peers, we need to make sure that not only are the kids who are victims of bullying taken care of, but also to try to see what things that the bullies are needing as far as like social skills training or mentoring or any kind of help or understanding as to what's going on with them. Because sometimes it's not that they have an innate meanness to them. And one of the things that we have to do is go in, and sometimes it's a family intervention, and we can meet with the moms and the dads or the guardians or anybody else who's interacting with the kid who is having these challenging behaviors, and just put some things in place and to redirect them in order so they can be successful in the community and in the schools. YouthBridge has clinicians on staff that are experts in working with families that have these types of challenges, from mental health issues to mental illness issues. We have licensed professional counselors, we have mental health paraprofessionals, case managers, drug counselors that can get involved in a child's life to try to improve their situation. And if the family is needing more eyes and ears to be advocates for them, then YouthBridge has a team that can do that. And so with the YouthBridge Bully Buster campaign, we hope to bring awareness and action to bullying in our school systems.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett with Everett Chevrolet. You've heard me say we have a better way to buy your new Chevy. If you've not been here to find out what that means, I want to invite you to come see us. You'll love the way we do business. And you can shop our great selection of the North American Truck of the Year, the Chevy Silverado, with the best V8 fuel economy of any full-size truck. Family owned, customer friendly, Everett Chevrolet in Springdale, I-49 at Elm Springs Road.
Hometown. That word still means something here. It means we're neighbors. We do the right thing. We care about your family. And you deserve the very best every time you walk in the front door. Har-Ber's. Hometown fresh.
Welcome home to Lindsay Living. From value-packed basic apartments with appliances and washers and dryers, to resort-style apartment living on golf courses with fabulous amenities, you'll love where you live and play. Visit lindsaymanagement.com to apply online and see photos, rates, and floor plans for all locations we manage throughout Arkansas and in surrounding states.
This is Jack. And this
I am starving!
is Jack's appetite. It's never satisfied.
I'm hungry.
Seriously, dude? What? Then Jack's mom started serving Tyson Anytizer snacks with all white meat and lots of protein. They're the only snacks that make Jack's appetite disappear. Tyson Anytizer snacks. Consider snacking so.
We came to Arvest Bank to see what makes it different.
It's a community bank that really reaches out to the customers to make them feel special. I feel special every time I come in here.
They want to be involved in the community and want to be a part of the community.
They support our university, our athletic department.
They've told us that they could have a fleet of volunteers there to help this year if we needed.
I see them at a lot of our Hispanic community events that we do.
I can't think of another bank in the city that has such a big community presence as Arvest.
Arvest Bank, our customers say it best.
Olive Garden's Buy One, Take One is back.
But not for long.
Starting at $12.99. Join us tonight for your choice of irresistible entrees, like rich and creamy smoked mozzarella chicken bursting with Italian cheese and sun-dried tomatoes, plus unlimited garden salad and warm breadsticks. Then take home another entree free, like fettuccine Alfredo. It's 2 delicious nights of togetherness for one low price. Buy one, take one, starting at $12.99. Olive Garden, we're all family here. Now order Olive Garden to go online.
Do you need new tires? Do you want a price match guarantee? Do you want to wait in a newly renovated waiting room? Do you want tire services at any time with no appointment? Then Tire Tracks is the place for you. With our price match guarantee and the largest inventory of new and used tires in the area, we have tires for every budget. Tire Tracks, Northwest Arkansas's largest independent tire dealer.
Chevrolet has the longest lasting, most dependable full-size trucks on the road. And at Everett Chevrolet, we think the slogan, "Find New Roads," couldn't be more at home than in beautiful Northwest Arkansas. The 2015 Silverado has the most fuel-efficient gas V8 ever, perfect for those long drives in the country. And for those new roads that are hard to find, Silverado's rugged power will pull you through. Family owned, customer friendly, Everett Chevrolet in Springdale.
The Youth Bridge Bully Buster program is this program that we are pushing through the schools to increase awareness of bullying in the schools, not just for those who are bullied, but for the bullies. The Youth Bridge Bully Buster program is symbolized in these orange wristbands, and kids can wear them proudly and say that they're going to stand up to bullies and they're going to seek assistance, they're going to seek help, they're going to talk to parents and their teachers to let them know that either they're being victimized by bullies or their friends are being victimized by bullies. These kids are wanting to go to school to get an education. They want to hang out with their friends and they want to feel safe when they go to school. And when they're having challenges with their peers, we need to make sure that not only are the kids who are victims of bullying taken care of, but also to try to see what things that the bullies are needing as far as like social skills training or mentoring or any kind of help or understanding as to what's going on with them. Because sometimes it's not that they have an innate meanness to them. And one of the things that we have to do is go in, and sometimes it's a family intervention, and we can meet with the moms and the dads or the guardians or anybody else who's interacting with the kid who is having these challenging behaviors, and just put some things in place and to redirect them in order so they can be successful in the community and in the schools. YouthBridge has clinicians on staff that are experts in working with families that have these types of challenges, from mental health issues to mental illness issues. We have licensed professional counselors, we have mental health paraprofessionals, case managers, drug counselors that can get involved in a child's life to try to improve their situation. And if the family is needing more eyes and ears to be advocates for them, then YouthBridge has the team that can do that. And so with the YouthBridge Bully Buster campaign, we hope to bring awareness and action to bullying in our school systems.
Olive Garden's Buy One, Take One is back.
But not for long.
Starting at $12.99. Join us tonight for your choice of irresistible entrees, like rich and creamy smoked mozzarella chicken bursting with Italian cheese and sun-dried tomatoes, plus unlimited garden salad and warm breadsticks. Then take home another entree free, like fettuccine Alfredo. It's 2 delicious nights of togetherness for one low price. Buy one, take one, starting at $12.99. Olive Garden, we're all family here. Now order Olive Garden to go online.
Welcome back. Rogers, Arkansas at Gates Stadium, where the Har-Ber Wildcats lead 34-0 over the Heritage War Eagles. So a little bit of a recap, Blake. What do you have for us?
Well, I mean, obviously we'll start with the first half of this game. Rehashing some of the things that we talked about in this first half was Har-Ber's defense getting good at the very end of the year. You know, these coaches, when I played, they talked about that. You know, when I played defense, they were like, defenses are supposed to get good at the end of the year. That's where, you know, you want them kind of crescendoing to their peak and then riding that momentum into the playoffs. And so far, through 2 games and 2 quarters of this game, the defense has pitched perfect shutouts. It's exactly what you want to see out of the defense. The offense has been doing what they've been doing well all season. They've been putting points on the board. Luke Hannon's found space. Naslai's found space. Offensive line looks phenomenal. Fuller Chandler's thrown some passes on the money. They're just playing a complete game, and they look very good despite who they're playing. Unfortunately, Heritage's season is going to end tonight. Even if they had won this game, it was going to end tonight. Tough game for these seniors. They're going to play. Some of them are going to play the last 2 quarters of football that they will ever play in their life. And, you know, it's a hard realization to come to, and it won't hit some of them until later. But you got to respect these guys out here, especially these sophomores and juniors, supporting those seniors and still, you know, giving it their all despite the unfortunate season that they've had. Before we get into a little bit of the playoffs, you want to give us a few score updates that we have from around the 7A West?
Yes. I will do that. So we know that Springdale, they're tied up at Springdale with, I think it's 10-10.
Almost at halftime, right?
I think they just went into halftime there. So they're playing the Rogers Mounties.
So while he's pulling some more of those numbers, let's talk about that game. Rogers and Springdale are playing each other tonight for the final game of the regular season, and that is an elimination game. Whoever wins that game will take the 6th seed from the West and will play the 2nd seed from the Central Division, and in the same side of the bracket that Har-Ber's on. So right now, Bryant and Conway are playing for the number 1 and number 2 seed in the Central Division. The loser of that game will go on to play either Rogers or Springdale, whoever wins that game in the first round of the playoffs. So very big implications for the first round of the playoffs there. You know, Springdale's looking to get into the playoffs for the first time in a while. Rogers doing the same. Heritage, like we've already mentioned, is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. So Rogers really trying to pitch an effort here to not get the entire city shut out from 7A playoffs.
Yeah. So, you know, halftime here with with Fayetteville over Bentonville by 1, 15-14.
So Fayetteville and Bentonville are playing for the 2nd and 3rd seed from the West. Now, they are on the same side of the bracket going into semifinals. They'll be on the opposite side of the bracket from Har-Ber. But the big implication for this game is obviously bragging rights. Fayetteville-Bentonville is always a big game, but playoff-wise, if both teams win out, the 2nd seed will get a first-round bye. 3rd seed will have to play first round, but if they both make it to semifinals, then whoever wins the game between Fayetteville and Bentonville tonight will get home field advantage in the semifinal round after Thanksgiving, which is huge in the 7A, especially the 7A West. Going into those environments, especially Bentonville and Fayetteville, are very tough environments to play in, and will provide an insane amount of benefit to that team.
So the Fort Smith schools, which they're playing for playoff there, is Northside 9, the Southside 7. That's at halftime as well.
Yeah, very, very close games because everybody knows what's on the line. Northside and Southside both have already made the playoffs, despite what happens to either of them tonight, but they are playing for the 4 and 5 seed from the West. So whoever wins obviously takes the 4 seed. Whoever loses will take the 5 seed there. Really, it boils down to whoever loses this game will be in the same side of the bracket as Fayetteville and Bentonville. And so they're going to have a very tough road to make it to semifinals and eventually state, if that is what's in the cards for them. Whoever loses this game will be on Har-Ber's side of the bracket. So just as bad of a fate for them, really. I mean, both of those teams had very difficult times playing Har-Ber, Fayetteville, and Bentonville. So no matter which way you cut it, they have a hard side of the bracket to play in. But
almost delaying the inevitable.
Yes, absolutely. And Har-Ber, locking up that 1 seed is such a great place to be in. Usually the toughest competition on that side of the bracket is from the number 1 seed from the East. And this year we're looking at Cabot. Cabot already locking up that 1 seed from the East. Even if they lose tonight, they're undefeated on the season so far. But they've played some mediocre teams very closely. I believe only beating Little Rock Central, who is not making the playoffs this year, by 7 points.
Right.
So they're undefeated. They've pulled out games, but they've also played a lot of very close games that should not have been games. So maybe not the same Cabot team that people are used to seeing, but Cabot's going to be, one of those teams in the playoffs that can kind of throw a wrench in 7A West plans to close out semifinals and eventually finals. That will be the major hurdle that Har-Ber will have to climb, most likely in the semifinal round, in order to get to Little Rock in December.
Cabot is winning 28-10 over Searcy at halftime right now.
Yep, and if they continue that, obviously they're going to go undefeated through the regular season. One of the only 7A teams to do that.
Now, if everything goes how we think and Har-Ber continues on the path, they'll play Cabot at Cabot.
Yeah, and so through the first 2 rounds, the higher seed will get home field advantage. Obviously, Har-Ber being a first seed will not play next week. And they will play in the second round at home, and they will host one of several teams. It could be either Rogers, Springdale, Conway, or Bryant, depending on how those 2 games turn out. But they will travel to Har-Ber week 2 weeks from today of the playoffs. If they win that game, the semifinal round, since you have the potential in both brackets in the bottom bracket for a 1 seed to meet a 1 seed, like Cabot and Har-Ber potentially likely meeting in the semifinal round there, bracketology rules dictate that the team that's listed above the other team will have home field advantage. And so the way the bracket is set up, Cabot would be listed above Har-Ber, and so Har-Ber would travel to Cabot in that semifinal round.
Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, if that part doesn't make sense, then let me try to explain how they do tiebreaker points in order to determine seeding for teams that have the same record at the end of the regular season. Yeah. You almost need a degree in math to figure out who's making the playoffs. Unfortunately, this year we don't have a lot of ties, and it's pretty clear-cut.
Right. So we got a minute left here waiting for the War Eagles to come on the field. We're going to take a quick commercial break, get everybody primed and ready to go for the second half. You're watching Wildcat Football on the Wildcat Sports Network.
We came to Arvest Bank to see what makes it different.
It's a community bank that really reaches out to the customers to make them feel special. I feel special every time I come in here.
They want to be involved in the community. They want to be part of the community.
They support our university, our athletic department.
They've told us that they could have a fleet of volunteers there to help this year if we needed.
I see them at a lot of our Hispanic community events that we do.
I can't think of another bank in the city that has such a big community presence as Arvest.
Arvest Bank, our customers say it best.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett with Everett Chevrolet. You've heard me say we have a better way to buy your new Chevy. If you've not been here to find out what that means, I want to invite you to come see us. You'll love the way we do business. And you can shop our great selection of the North American Truck of the Year, the Chevy Silverado, with the best V8 fuel economy of any full-size truck. Family owned, customer friendly, Everett Chevrolet in Springdale, I-49 at Elm Springs Road.
Welcome back. Beautiful Rogers, Arkansas, where the Wildcats of Har-Ber 34-0 over the War Eagles. Getting ready to receive the kickoff here in the second half from the War Eagles. We're going to see a lot of second and third string for the Wildcats, or will we start off with the first string, Blake?
I'm not certain of what we're going to see yet. Obviously, still have the starters in on kickoff return here. Dylan Dara, Trey Smith.
Blackston's out there.
Blackston's out there. Yeah, you see the same guys that you've seen all year on kickoff return. I'm sure we will start seeing people roll in. The worst case scenario for Har-Ber here is one of their starters goes down on a play that they didn't need to be in. This is an excellent opportunity to give some of those guys that you're grooming to start next year, give them some Friday night experience, let them play in a game under the lights in front of the big crowd. This is exactly what situations like that are for, so I'm sure we'll start seeing some of those guys roll in as we get closer to the end of this game.
So a short kick to Har-Ber. He's going to throw it down to the right-hand side to Blackston. Blackston's across the 40, 45, across the 50. He's in open field, hurdles a guy, and down he's going to go about the 39-yard line. A little bit of, and to use your vernacular, trickeration.
A little bit of trickeration there, and frankly, I'm at a loss for words. For every time I think we've seen the last trick play that Coach Wood's going to draw up, he's like, but wait, there's more. He's the Billy Mays of trick plays, and we just saw another one there.
I can't wait for him to watch this and hear you call him Billy Mays. 11:48 here in the second half as we kick off the third quarter here. Chandler back at shotgun. Hands it off to Dara. Dara's gonna fight about for 3 yards, 2 yards. That's gonna bring up second down and 8 for the Wildcats. Looks like Dara name got drawn out of the hat to run the ball.
It became his turn to carry the ball from the Har-Ber backfield.
On the wheel of love.
And the plethora of running backs that Har-Ber has employed tonight.
Chandler drops back, throws right, complete, across the first down, and it's going to tack about 3 yards on top of that.
Matthew Azell on the catch.
Very quick after completion there.
Yeah, senior getting his name called on the PA tonight, showing that he can contribute in a meaningful way out there. And sometimes you see in these games towards the end of the season somebody step up at the end of a game like this and get thrown into the rotation in playoff games. So that's what these guys are fighting for as well.
Dara up the middle. He's got enough for a first down. Going to tack on 5 on top of that. And he's going to be tackled about the 13-yard line. So that'll move the chains.
Someone on the Har-Ber coaching staff felt he wasn't getting enough love at receiver. Decided to start handing him the football instead and letting him run between the tackles. And he can do that as well.
You almost get the impression they're like, all right, hear me out. What about Dara in the backfield? Let him run the ball.
And everybody looked at each other for a second and said, yeah, let's see what happens.
He has the ball now. He's scrambling around. He's going to get about 5 yards on the play. And whoever one of the coaches that suggested that is just elbowing the other guys in the ribs, thinking, I told you so.
Yeah. Dara getting his chance out here, and one of two scenarios happened. Either one of the coaches suggested it to him, or all season long he's been nagging one of the coaches, like, Coach, put me in at running back. Put me in at running back. He's like, I will put you in at running back on the game that we're up 34-0.
In the first half.
So when we went up 34-0, he went over to that coach. It's like, Coach, you said.
Yeah, here's your reminder.
Lo and behold, he's carrying the football like Luke Hannon, 7 to 8 yards a carry. There's a chance he's going to punch one in here.
Luke Dara. Second down and 1. Wildcats about to score. And I'm not even sure what happened. Chandler scrambling around. He's going to
rush this one in.
That's a touchdown.
Running.
Oh, and he's tackled him after he scored. That made
running
a lot of
54
sense.
yards for a 3-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure why when you tackle somebody that's 10 yards deep in the end zone, turning around, walking back into the field of play, then he gets hit right in front of the ref, why you wouldn't throw a flag.
Yeah. Well, obviously you don't want to see that any Har-Ber players get hurt, but at the same time, I'm just happy they made a tackle.
Yes. They made a tackle 4 yards out of the field of play.
You got to get them where you can.
So the extra point. Snap is good. The kick is up, and the kick is good.
The Zumbo will strike true on that one.
So that's going to give the Wildcats 41. The Heritage War Eagle 0, and that should implement the Mercy Rule.
And while we have the opportunity, the Mercy Rule brought to you by Catering Unlimited and Tire Tracks. Big thank you to them for sponsoring the audio equipment to make this broadcast possible.
I am glad Tire Tracks and Catering Unlimited brought the Mercy Rule.
Wish we had a graphic for that.
I kind of want some Catering Unlimited. So Har-Ber will kick the ball off. Duggar back with the kicking responsibilities. He's done a great job so far tonight.
Keeping the ball in play, hasn't kicked it out of bounds. Kicking it with some loft on a few of these, giving the coverage time to set up downfield.
And the kick is going to be received about the 5-yard line by the War Eagles. And there is a lot of Wildcats down there dishing out owies. That's going to get to about the 15, maybe the 17. Looks like depends. The refs keep daisy chaining it forward, so pretty soon they're going to be on the 5-yard line.
War Eagles, they're trying to implement their new...
Now it's on the 19.
Their kickoff return screenplay, which apparently requires letting all of the coverage team past you.
Yes. They're throwing lookout blocks. 1st and 10 from the now 19-yard line. 9 minutes, 45 on the clock here in the third quarter. Qualls is going to hand it off around the right-hand side. Actually, I'm not exactly
I think the ball went to the left. I'm not sure. That was a beautiful play fake. Apparently, Har-Ber's defense didn't think quite as much of it and snuffed it out for only a 2-yard gain.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 8. Actually 7 for the War Eagles.
Pretty Patrick, name you just heard on offense, rolling in at safety now for Austin Henderson. One of those multi-talented guys that can play anywhere on the field.
Qualls drops back, looks, throws to the right. It's complete, and he's going to be tackled. It's one of the rare first downs that the War Eagles have gotten tonight.
Yeah, and one of those plays, what's a little bit interesting about this game that we saw last week is you wouldn't know it by the score, but Heritage's offense has put up more yards than Northside's offense did so far in this game than Northside did last week. So something to say about Heritage's offense still in here fighting, down 41-0 in the third quarter with 8:21 left.
Heritage with a pitch outside. He's going to be tackled. He's going to have just short. It's about a 9-yard run, just short of the first down.
We see a few of those the starting rotation guys still in. Peyton Kofer still in. I think Blaze Brothers still in out there. Chase Anderson still playing.
2nd down and 1 for the War Eagles. 7:55 on the clock. It's going to continue to run the rest of the game probably. Qualls under center, hands it off, and he is met in the backfield and tackled by about 4 Wildcats.
I believe number 52, Danny Douglas, is in the game for Robertson. Getting his shot in the Friday Night Lights. Har-Ber really committing to rolling guys in and fostering that next level experience that ended up working well for them this season. They hope it continues to work well for them next season.
I just watched the quarterback throw the ball, and he was looking behind him when he threw it. So that's the first down for the War Eagles. That's going to bring to about the 38-yard line. 7:04 on the clock. Ball's under center. Going to hand it off, and he's going to be met immediately in the backfield.
Great fight out of this defense. A lot of the I guess, perceived softness that you're seeing out of this defense is not because these players are not at the same level that the starters are. It's because they don't have the same amount of reps of cohesiveness that the starters have together. In practice, you see a lot of probably 75 to 80% of those reps going to the starters and working on that cohesiveness that's so important on defense. These guys right up there physically with those other guys just don't have the same amount of reps. But you can see them out there still getting pressure on the quarterback there, still providing good pass coverage. And you see a lot of bright spots for Har-Ber's future out there right now.
Ball's hit after he throws it is very slow to get up off the ground. 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
You know, you get the sense that these Heritage guys are going to be a little bit banged up after this game, but they have an even longer rest after this game than Har-Ber does. They will get to return for the first game next season.
There's plenty of time off. 3rd down and 3. And he just heaves it up.
And that pass is incomplete. No flag thrown. That's going to bring up 4th down here, I think. Oh, they said he caught it. Christensen on the catch.
It's Colin Christian on the completion. That's going to bring up 1st and 10. First down and goal.
It's one of those joint possession catches where they're fighting over it on the ground, and 10 times out of 10, by rule, a joint possession catch will go to the offense.
Ball is on the 8-yard line. War Eagles, for the first time tonight, inside the red zone. And it is pitched, bobbled, and around the left-hand side.
He has got no room to run. Be forced out of bounds. Some of these fresh guys in here getting their first taste of having their backs against the goal line. A position that traditionally Har-Ber throughout the years has been very stout. Harkening back to that bend but don't break mentality, you might be able to drive the field, but inside the red zone, it gets exponentially harder to move the ball in these guys.
So Qualls under center. He's going to drop back, rolls to the right, and throws. And it is overthrown.
Again, intended for Colin Christian, I believe. Colin Christian, the leading receiver for this Heritage team. 39 receptions for 463 yards. Averages 51 yards a game. Has 9 touchdowns. Averages 12 yards a catch. Very good season for that young man.
It's Corey and Mary Christian's son. Qualls hands it off up the middle. They're going to get about to the 5-yard line, and that is going to bring up 4th down for the War Eagles. And the quarterback is pleading his case, wanting to go for it, and I think the field goal team is coming on the slide, up on the field.
Those big blockers come in. Heritage no stranger to the 3-point field goal. His last, now 19 quarters. As all of Heritage's points for the past 19 quarters have come from field goals.
And it's a fake. And it is broken up. No good.
Har-Ber's defense continues to pitch the shutout. Peyton Kofer coming over the top to disrupt that pass. Sometimes when you need to keep a 0 on the scoreboard for the other team, bring in the big guns.
Kofer saying, no.
It was more of a basketball rejection than it was a
LeBron
deflected
James
pass.
Football.
Very rarely do you see people get up on their feet for a pass deflection. Definitely the case there. Peyton Kofer again making his presence felt.
So the Wildcats come to the line of scrimmage on the 5-yard line. There's 2:46 on the clock.
Fresh set of guys in here for the offense.
Pennington back at shotgun. He's going to hand it off up the middle, and he's going to get about a yard.
Braden Haley on the carry there. Saw him a little bit at the end of the Northside game, I believe, and then maybe a few other games this year.
.218 on the clock. 2nd down and 8. Ball's on the 7.
He's a junior, so he will be returning next year.
Again on the carry. He's going to get about 2 yards. Maybe, I guess they're going to mark him for about a yard. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 6.
Gain of 2 on the play. 3rd down, 36.
Pennington drops back, looks, throws. Nope, he's gonna be sacked for a loss.
Bring up a 4th down here. Heritage's defense. Something to cheer about here. Wilberg on the punt team, though. And despite the lead, you probably will see the starting punt team out here. It's something that they religiously practice throughout practices. They usually run with one team, maybe a couple fill-in guys in case somebody gets hurt.
Trey Smith back in punting duties.
Back in punt formation, number 1, Trey Smith. Return number 8, David Zamora.
And he's just going to quick kick it. It's going to be Received on the 30. It's going to get down to the 20. That'll give the War Eagles a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
I give the War Eagles their best field position of the night starting out here.
See, the clock is stopped at 54 seconds, and I'm not exactly sure why the clock is stopped when you're in a mercy rule.
I believe so we've had this a couple times this year, and best I can figure, the clock will stop in mercy rule until they reset the ball after change of possession. As you see now, it is rolling again.
I think the War Eagles are probably hoping it continues to run with its 41-0.
Har-Ber's not the team you want to play your last game of the season.
No. So Quells will pitch it. It'll go around the right-hand side, and he will pick up 5 yards on the carry. So Garrett, with the ball running responsibilities, is going to bring up 2nd down and a long 4.
Short little jaunt around the outside edge there, picking up a couple yards.
According to the scorekeeper, it's 2nd down and 97 to go.
And that's going to take us into the 4th quarter. Then we'll get the snap off here. One of the quickest 3rd quarters this season.
Sure.
We're going to get out of here quick and get these boys to bed.
I don't believe they're going to bed tonight.
At the speed that this game's going, they might have time to de-dress, shower, and make it to one of the other games and watch the ending of one of those.
The second half.
Yeah. I don't know this for a fact, but I would assume some of those teams are still warming up after their halftime break.
Yeah. So the fresh 12 minutes here in the 4th quarter. Wildcats 41, Heritage War Eagles 0. A lot of second, third team members here for the Wildcats getting a lot of 7A West playing time tonight.
That's exactly what you want. When you have a very good team like Har-Ber has this year, you have the ability to improve year over year. If you have a team that plays consistently with every single team they play, and you don't get a lot of chance to rotate guys in and get them experience, it hurts you the next year. That's why you see dynasties emerge sometimes where you'll have teams that, come out and consistently field a great team. And a lot of that's talent, but a lot of that is getting guys that don't get to start reps on Friday night, getting them that experience. So when they start the next year after the person in front of them leaves, or if they win that starting job, they already know what it feels like to play on Friday nights. Those first game jitters might not be there, and Har-Ber gets to start the next season exactly how they ended the last season.
Qualls under center for the War Eagles. He's going to hand it off around the right-hand side, and he is going to be close. He's going to be just short of the 1st down. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and a 1.
Big 3rd down here for the War Eagles. Trying to put their first touchdown on the board.
It's like the Springdale Bulldogs leading the Rogers Mounties 18-0. 18-10. It's just making sure you're paying attention over there.
Was tied up 10-10, I believe.
Yeah. Well, they start taking points off if the band doesn't perform well.
Tied up 10-10 must mean Springdale going a little gutsy there, going for the 2-point conversion.
They converted.
Trying to completely shut the city of Rogers out of the 7A playoffs.
Yep.
Ball comes
up, and I don't believe they're going to... Well, maybe they did get it inside the field.
Recovered by Har-Ber. Not a chance to return it as he was down when he recovered the ball, but I believe we still have a little bit of discussion here.
I think they're trying to figure out a way that the War Eagles can keep the ball.
Either way is a very significant loss. If it was a fumble and the ball went out of bounds, they're going to have a long way to go for this 4th down play. Har-Ber recovered, obviously a worse scenario, but they're calling it heritage ball. They're going to mark it where the ball. Yep, they're going to mark it where the ball went out of bounds. It's going to make it a 4th and 10, I believe. A little more than 4th and 10. Coach Wood out on the field. Might be a down Har-Ber player. It's tough to see in front of the
War Eagle team.
Yeah, standing War Eagles here. Coach Wood coming out to check on one of his guys.
Injured player number 84, Jarrett Newsom.
Jarrett Newsom went down on the play, but walking off in his own power is always good to see. Great to see your head coach come out and make sure you're okay there. But it goes to show how much Coach Wood cares about these guys. And Har-Ber football truly is a family. These coaches are great to players even after they leave the organization. You're truly a part of something special once you've played for Har-Ber football.
11 minutes, 4 seconds to go here in the ball game. The War Eagles have the ball, 4th down and I'm going to say 14.
At this point, you're telling your guys to play the sticks.
Qualls drops back, throws to the corner. It's so high that the receiver didn't even see where it was.
And he's going to try to take this one back.
He's running downfield with it.
Oh my goodness, he might take it from the back of the end zone.
He's across the 50, he's on his feet across the 40,
and nobody's going to catch him. He's going to take this one all the way into the end zone. A 109-yard interception return for Brady Patrick. Oh my goodness.
That is crazy.
Put that one on the highlight reel and somebody get this kid an ice cream cone. He's done. Oh.
Hey, I want to say they had great downfield blocking.
I was just about to chastise him for not swatting that ball down when they often could just pick up the ball on the 20-yard line going the other way because it was 4th down there. But he said, no, don't worry. I got this. I'm going to take it 109 yards for a touchdown.
Watch me go.
Set up some blocks. And, we have a block in the back
on
the return.
Oh.
Impressive nonetheless, but Har-Ber will retain possession.
I will say it's a little bit of showboating. Like he was down here on the bottom of the screen in the corner, and he takes it all the way across the end zone in front of the Har-Ber fans.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I thought I saw him wink.
Yeah, you don't run that ball down the other side of the field in front of the Heritage fans.
Nobody's going to clap for you over here.
Yeah, put on for the city. Come on.
Yep. Thought he gave some pistol shots as he flew by there, winking at some of the fans.
There was something smoking, but I think that was his cleats.
So, Hinton back at shotgun. Wildcats have the ball 1st and 10 from the 40. And the War Eagles are going to get a little bit of penetration there.
Now 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Bentonville up 17-15 over Fayetteville with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Playing for the 2nd seed. Loser taking the 3rd seed from the West.
2nd down and 11 for the Wildcats. Huntington back at shotgun. He's going to hand it off up the middle. Haley's going to get about 2 yards.
He's going to pass the original line of scrimmage and gain maybe a couple yards more there. Set up a 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats. Clock continues to roll here. Down under 9 minutes and 19 seconds left in this 4th quarter game, last game of the regular season.
You may get done in enough time to get to the Golden Corral buffet.
You would know what time that closes.
Huntington throws across into the flat. 1st down for the Wildcats, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds about the 44-yard line. Henderson on the completion.
Ty Henderson coming up big on a 3rd down conversion there.
Looks like he was shot out of like a cannon after he caught the ball.
He did, and that's exactly what you like to see. These guys that are filling in here starting to find their rhythm, showing that they can pick up where the guys that were playing before them left off.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Oh, not sure what happened. We got a bobble snap.
A little bit of hobble bobble out of the Har-Ber backfield.
Hobble Bobble brought to us by Catering Unlimited and Tire Tracks.
They're now sponsoring not only broadcast equipment, but catchphrases.
2nd down and a long 10 here. 8:06 on the clock.
Continuing to roll comfortably into that Mercy Rule margin now. Har-Ber winning 41-0.
Much to Heritage's delight. Huntington back at shotgun. Takes a snap, going to hand it off up the middle. Haley's going to get about 7 yards.
You've
taken a little bit of Luke Hannon play.
And what you really like to see, and I've been talking about it, this is really the first time we've seen some of these guys getting to play more than one quarter here. They're going to get to play almost 2 full quarters here on offense. They're starting to put stuff together. It's hard to put stuff together when you're only in for a quarter, but you see them now starting to get comfortable with each other. That cohesiveness starting to happen, and they're getting yards consistently. Face mask penalty will be thrown.
Wow.
That will be a free 15 yards. Haven't seen a lot of penalties in this game.
Matt Thomas getting his spinal cord realigned with a face mask.
I'm not certain, but I'm not sure that defensive end is a licensed chiropractor.
Yeah, I don't think he has his chiropractor license.
I'm not sure if there's a regulatory board for that.
So there's 7 minutes and 4 seconds to go here in the ball game. And the ball is down now to the 26-yard line.
Clock continues to roll down under 7 minutes now in this football game.
Hannington back a shotgun. Hands it off up the middle. And there's about 6 yards on that play. Haley just, he's finding little seams and he's taking them.
Yep, getting comfortable. This O-line starting to sync up, opening some gaps for him, and very intuitive running style at Haley here, finding the gap, hitting it quick, falling back into that 6-7 yard average that we've become so accustomed to seeing from Har-Ber's running backs.
Right. 6:45, 6:46. They move the chains.
There's a penalty flag thrown there.
Oh.
Half the distance to the goal line. Ball's on the 10-yard line here.
Hannington hands it off up the middle.
The pocket will crash around him. The ends come in from both sides there to finish the play. Be a 1 yard loss.
No gain. Back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Ball's on the 10. Hannington back at shotgun. Hands it off with the jet sweep around the left-hand side, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Matthew Azell gets upended there on the edge. Great hustle to the outside. Cornerback was waiting on the contain. Clock now down under 6 minutes. 5 minutes and 51 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Hannington back at shotgun. One split to the bottom of your screen. Single setback. Looks like Haley's going to take it up the middle. He's going to get about 2 yards on the play. So that is 4th down and 7 for the Wildcats. The ball is just inside the 10. Hannington hands it off up the middle to Haley. Haley's going to get about 1 yard. And so that is going to bring the War Eagles on the field with terrible field position.
They're going to run downs here. Clock will stop until they get the ball set, and the official will roll clock. We're down 4 minutes and 55 seconds in the fourth quarter with the clock rolling. War Eagles will try to drive the field here and make something materialize, even if it's their ever so familiar field goal formation. They have 5 seconds on the play clock to snap the ball here. They get it off.
They're going to hand it off up the middle, but he's going to get about 1 yard.
Not in any hurry here. Everybody in the stadium knows what the outcome of this game is going to be. They're content to let this clock roll down.
I will tell you, though, that they are still in their seats. Hats off to the fans here at Heritage, Because I know another team in the 7A West that we beat that vacated like a fire drill.
Yeah. We did, and it's always nice to see fans stay and support the team. You know, this team's had a very rough season, maybe a rebuilding season, some might call it, and these fans very supportive. You know, it's encouraging to see that from fans. When you get used to winning so much, like teams like Fayetteville do and Bentonville do, it's tough to watch your team lose, and some fans just can't handle it.
So 3 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. It continues to roll here in the fourth quarter. Wildcats 41, Heritage 0.
Score update from our crosstown partners. Springdale is up 18-16 with a minute 50 in the third quarter.
Hang on, Bulldogs.
Of course, we're pulling for the Bulldogs. Also being from Springdale, we'd love for them to make the playoffs and potentially get to play them in the second round of the playoffs if they can pull out a first-round win. Would, of course, be an exciting game.
So the War Eagles are going to get a 1st and 10 here. The ball's on the 31-yard line. There's 3 minutes, about 3 minutes left to go on the clock as soon as they snap the ball.
The quickest 2 quarters in Har-Ber's season are about to come to a close in 3 minutes.
And they're trying to reverse here. There's no containment on the backside.
Christian will get ran out of bounds, about 2 yards shy of the first down there. An efficient 8-yard run for Heritage.
2:40 on the clock. It's running. 2nd down and 4, excuse me, for the War Eagles.
Spotted just a little bit short. It's a little bit difficult at this range to tell where he stepped out of bounds. We're going to take the referee's word, who's standing right over the top of it for the official
job
measure.
Qualls drops back, throws across the middle. It is incomplete.
Ball just dropped there.
Get him in the hands in the basket. And
chalk that one up to maybe lack of reps in practice, but it's to be expected, especially when you're getting towards the end of games like these.
If I'm a receiver and I'm running across the middle of the defense against Har-Ber, the very last thing I want to do is catch the ball.
It's just like water dumped on him. I couldn't tell from this distance, so water just got dumped on one of the Har-Ber coaches.
So quick pitch to the bottom of your screen, and he's met at the line of scrimmage and hit hard.
Ball will come loose, and Har-Ber will get possession. It's hard to imagine that we'd see anything but knees here from Har-Ber.
There's a minute 32 on the clock. And this might be the conclusion of the ball game.
Very fast-paced game that we've been watching tonight. I think only 1 timeout total has been called, maybe 2. I don't remember, but both teams still with 3 timeouts here in the second half. Nobody really interested in prolonging this game.
Right.
Everybody's content to get out of here on a kind of a cold Friday night at the beginning of November.
Get a shower and get home before the news starts. Hennington back a shotgun. Hands it off to Haley up the middle. Haley's going to pound out about 6 yards.
And Coach Wood will get doused with the other bucket that they held on to. Offense will continue to take knees here, but huge shout out from all of Har-Ber Nation to the very first Wildcat football team to win an outright conference title. If anybody deserves that Gatorade bath, it's Coach Wood. It's been here since the beginning, working towards this goal. But I will tell you, even though he now has an outright conference title under his belt, it hasn't been done since Bentonville in 2013, and maybe, I guess, the 05 Springdale team before that possibly. His goal is not over. He's not content, and I guarantee you none of these Har-Ber players are content. At the end of the day, this football team is not happy unless they are playing for a state title in Little Rock.
Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the ball game, where the Har-Ber Wildcats 41, the Heritage War Eagles 0. We're going to kick this to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have your post-game analysis. You're watching Wildcat Football on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Hometown. That word still means something here. It means we're neighbors. We do the right thing. We care about your family. And you deserve the very best every time you walk in the front door. Har-Ber's. Hometown fresh.
The Youth Bridge Bully Buster program is this program that we are pushing through the schools to increase awareness of bullying in the schools, not just for those who are bullied, but for the bullies. The Youth Bridge Bully Buster program is symbolized in these orange wristbands, and kids can wear them proudly and say that they're going to stand up to bullies and they're going to seek assistance, they're going to seek help, they're going to talk to parents and their teachers to let them know that either they're being victimized by bullies or their friends are being victimized by bullies. These kids are wanting to go to school to get an education. They want to hang out with their friends and they want to feel safe when they go to school. And when they're having challenges with their peers, we need to make sure that not only are the kids who are victims of bullying taken care of, but also to try to see what things that the bullies are needing as far as like social skills training or mentoring or any kind of help or understanding as to what's going on with them. Because sometimes it's not that they have an innate meanness to them. And one of the things that we have to do is go in, and sometimes it's a family intervention. And we can meet with the moms and the dads or the guardians or anybody else who's interacting with the kid who is having these challenging behaviors, and just put some things in place and to redirect them in order so they can be successful in the community and in the schools. Youth Bridge has clinicians on staff that are experts in working with families that have these types of challenges, from mental health issues to mental illness issues. We have licensed professional counselors, we have mental health paraprofessionals, case managers, drug counselors that can get involved in a child's life to try to improve their situation. And if the family is needing more eyes and ears to be advocates for them, then Youth Bridge has a team that can do that. And so with the Youth Bridge Bully Buster campaign, we hope to bring awareness and action to bullying in our school systems.
Welcome back. Gates Stadium. Heritage War Eagles losing tonight to the Har-Ber Wildcats 41-0 as Har-Ber concludes their conference season undefeated. Blake, break it down for us. What happened tonight?
Well, what happened tonight is you saw the culmination of a perfect conference season from a Har-Ber football team for the first time in Har-Ber's relatively young history compared to some of these other teams in the 7A West. Obviously as a Wildcat alumni, very proud of this group of guys. They've, played so well this season, only loss being the very first game of the season to a Webb City team that's 11-0 right now in Missouri. Probably going to win the state championship again. Nothing to scoff at the performance that these guys have given all season long. First outright conference title. They're going to be the first seed in the playoffs and have the easy route to the state championship game compared to those 2 and 3 seeds that will be occupied by Fayetteville and Bentonville. And really this game, there wasn't a lot of question who was going to win it coming into it. And what Har-Ber had to do this game was show that they were still the well-oiled machine that we've seen coming into this. For the now 3 straight games, Har-Ber's defense has not allowed a touchdown, has not allowed an offensive touchdown from another team. Defense hitting the peak of their performance at the very end of the season, looking to roll into the playoffs and absolutely dominate teams. Statistically, second best defense, but I don't have the scoring numbers, but this team is one of the best scoring defenses in the 7A West. And obviously that outright conference title goes to show that you can't win outright conference titles without your defense showing up to play every single week. And that's what this group of guys has done. When you look at the other teams that Har-Ber beat to get here, you look at Fayetteville, you look at Bentonville. Those teams, of course, Bentonville having statistically the best defense in the 7A West. They've allowed twice this season a team to score more than 14 points on them. One of those offenses was Har-Ber. You look at Fayetteville's record-setting offense, scoring 57.2 points a game. Their low of the season was the 43 points that they scored against Har-Ber's defense. So Har-Ber's defense and offense coming up big in games that no other team could come up big in, and that's the reason that they're standing here tonight as the outright conference champions. And so when you look back on that, both sides of the ball, the offense and the defense, were responsible for that. Next time we'll watch them play is 2 weeks from now at home in Wildcat Stadium. It could be one of a few teams. We're still waiting on some games to wrap up. Follow your local sports writers from the Democrat Gazette or AR Preps to get the score updates from those. The game most should be interested in is Rogers at Springdale, a game probably entering the fourth quarter now. Whoever wins that game will play the loser of Bryant and Conway for the first round, and then Har-Ber will end up playing one of those teams in the second round at Wildcat Stadium in Springdale. So that's it for me. We'll throw it back to you, Donald, for our wrap-up.
So, I do want to say something about the coaching staff here with Har-Ber. These guys do this year-round. It isn't just football season for these guys. And, they put in a lot of hours, and a little bit of a hats off to the coaches' wives as well. There's a lot of sacrificing that goes on to putting a winning program together. So from the broadcast team, we'd like to send out a little bit of a tip of the hat to the coaching staff and the coaching staff's wives for letting them, change, basically mold these young men's, their future and their tangent in life. Setting them on course for something to add to the community here in Northwest Arkansas and to Springdale. So, coaches, thank you from the broadcast team for all the hard work and the thankless hours that you put in, and to the wives. So that's going to wrap it up for us. Conference champions here at Gates Stadium, Har-Ber Wildcats. Undefeated this season, so we will see you in 2 weeks from tonight, Wildcat Stadium, where they will play in the second week of the playoffs on the road to Little Rock. For Superintendent Dr. Jim Rollins and Athletic Director Wayne Stellick, I'm Donald Tucker. We'll see you in 2 weeks.